You think the pain of divorce is about losing her love? It's not. The real regret is seeing the woman she becomes without you, a woman who is suddenly free, happier, and successful. For years, she was tied to your shared life. Now, she's rewriting her own story, unburdened and living fully for herself. And the sight of her liberated self will feel like the ultimate punch to the gut. This isn't just a breakup, it's a sudden, powerful explosion of potential that was locked away inside the marriage. You need to know this hard truth before it hits you. The collapse of structure. The moment the divorce is finalized, you see a legal document, but what truly occurred is a structural collapse. Think of the marriage like a massive, complex building. For years, she lived inside its solid walls, the rules, the routine, the clear expectations you both agreed on. This framework gave her security and stability, but it demanded a high price. It forced her to constantly hold back a large amount of her own personal energy. It required a daily sacrifice. She had to put a piece of her own unique wants and separate dreams aside for the stability of your shared life and the good of the team. When the legal paperwork is finished, those walls don't just fade, they explode. All the pressure she was holding in, all the potential she had suppressed or ignored, is suddenly released. This is the first shockwave you feel. She is moving out of a state of controlled compromise and into a wide open space of unbound potential. She is stepping out of a cage she didn't realize she was in, and she feels the rush of the open air. Do not mistake this intense period for weakness or confusion. It is the exact opposite. It is a powerful psychological vacuum that forms instantly. And human nature abhors a vacuum. This emptiness demands rapid, immediate new growth. She can no longer rely on the passive identity of your wife or partner. She must urgently re-engineer her entire sense of self, shifting her core identity to that of the sovereign self, a person who answers only to herself and serves only her own purpose. This is not a slow evolution, it is a rapid, necessary construction. You must view this change with cold, clinical clarity. This process is not her trying to hurt you or punish you for the past. It is simply a biological imperative for self-preservation. Every creature, when its environment changes so radically, must adapt fully and decisively to survive. She is adapting. She is not taking a personal action against you. She is taking a vital, life-saving action for herself. This is the moment she starts building a new, powerful existence, and it begins with the complete, decisive breaking of the old framework she has thrown away the map you both shared. She is now focused entirely on her own survival and new navigation, charting a course based on instincts you never fully saw. This initial stage is purely about identity building and self-recovery. Nothing else matters to her. Nothing. The primal re-entry. Every human being needs to feel valuable. We need to know where we stand in the world. For many years, her sense of worth was tied to the stability of your relationship. That was her strong anchor. Your presence, your commitment, and the simple fact that you chose her. That was her constant, quiet proof of value. Now, that anchor is completely gone. When a person suddenly loses their main source of stability and value, their deepest, most ancient survival instinct takes over. She is not thinking clearly about sadness or regret. She is driven by a powerful, urgent need to confirm her social value. This is a primal response. She needs to send a clear signal to herself and to the world. I am still viable. I am still desired. I am not broken. This is the start of the primal re-entry. Think of it like an animal testing the ground after a massive earthquake. She is rapidly testing her viability in the open world, looking for proof that she can stand on her own. To do this, she needs immediate, loud validation. The slow, deep approval she got from just you is too quiet, too slow, and too complicated now. She replaces it with the broad, fleeting consensus of many people. She wants to be seen and told that she is great by dozens of strangers. This external approval is fast, easy, and gives her an immediate psychological fix. You must understand this is not a personal choice she made to hurt you. This is psychological mathematics, a required function after a major loss of social standing. She is operating under immense pressure to prove, quickly and visibly, that she is whole. Her survival depends on it, and her actions will reflect this desperate, powerful drive. This pattern is as old as history itself. She is not seeking love, she is seeking proof of relevance. The somatic reclamation. The transformation you see is not just emotional, it is intensely physical. The change starts with her body. You will see a sudden, intense focus on fitness, on her appearance, and on how she presents herself to the world. She's not just getting back in shape. This is the most visible evidence of her profound identity shift. Think of it this way. During your long partnership, her body and her time were treated as a shared resource, mostly dedicated to the domestic world, caring for the family, maintaining the home, or simply existing comfortably in a committed space. Now, that resource is suddenly pulled back. Her body is no longer a shared asset, it is her private, sovereign property. This is what we call the somatic reclamation, the reclaiming of the body. All the surplus energy that was previously used for the demanding tasks of managing the family unit or dealing with the constant effort of navigating conflict is now being poured entirely into self-optimization. Historically, this is a repeating pattern. After massive periods of social instability, like when people rebuild after major wars, the focus on personal style and physical health becomes a very aggressive form of social signaling. It's a non-verbal message that screams, "I am stable, I am strong, and I am not a victim." She is creating a visible perimeter of confidence. She is building a physical shield to push back against any perceived vulnerability that comes with divorce. This isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling powerful and showing the world that she is not only surviving, but thriving entirely on her own terms. The body is the first fortress she must rebuild. The strategic narrative. To move forward successfully, the past must be rewritten. This is a necessary psychological act. Every person, when facing intense hardship or making a life-changing choice, needs a justifying legend. This is a simple story that makes the action rational and makes the risk worthwhile. For her, to make the immense pain and risk of separation feel correct, the shared reality of the marriage must be reframed. The past must appear worse than the scary uncertainty of her new future. She begins developing the strategic narrative. This is a simplified, almost heroic account of her life during the marriage, where she is the survivor who finally gained her freedom. In this narrative, you become the necessary obstacle, the stable, but ultimately restricting, force that held her back. You will see the evidence of this. The happy moments are minimized and the shared history is carefully filtered. Your minor faults and shortcomings are magnified and presented as the core reasons for the collapse. This is not her consciously sitting down and lying. It is a powerful form of cognitive bias required for self-advancement. Her mind is building the most efficient story for her own emotional survival. You must accept this reality. Do not fight this ghost. Her memory of your marriage is now an active political tool for her new life. It serves her forward momentum. If you try to argue facts, you are simply arguing with her necessary strategy for freedom, and you will lose every time. Your energy must be preserved. The attention economy surge. The quest for her personal value after the divorce is no longer quiet or vague. It becomes measurable. She needs clear, hard proof that she is still important and desired in the world. She is making a calculated trade. She is swapping the deep, singular approval she once received from you, her fixed partner, for the widespread, fleeting attention from a crowd of people. This is the definition of the attention economy surge. The digital world, especially social media, becomes the perfect engine for this search. Every post, every picture, every update is a step onto a public stage. She is using the screen to run a rapid-fire experiment on her own worth. For her, every like is a small victory. Every comment is a small piece of evidence. This is a system of validation that provides immediate, tiny hits of assurance. She is looking for an immediate score to know where she stands in the larger world now that her status as wife is gone. The images she shares are carefully controlled. They are not honest snapshots of everyday life. They are chosen pieces of evidence. I am vibrant, I am desired, my life is thriving. She is actively constructing a powerful public image that proves her new independence has been successful and that she is now better off. Why does she need the approval of the crowd? When she left the marriage, her old, fixed sense of self floated away. She lost the stable point, the anchor that your relationship gave her. In the absence of one fixed partner, the agreement of the crowd steps in to act as a powerful, temporary anchor for her new, still-forming identity. The more people who agree she is doing well, the more stable she feels her decision was. The power of this public affirmation is intoxicating. It serves to prove the most important point to her. Her act of liberation, the divorce, has directly resulted in an increase in her personal value and visibility. This is the exact moment that creates the deepest, most potent pain and envy in the man observing. You are forced to witness the cold, hard evidence that she is now gaining value and recognition from a world you are entirely excluded from, and in a way she never achieved while she was with you. This feeling is the ultimate proof that her freedom was necessary for her success. You must look at this phase not as a personal insult, but as a predictable data point in the universal process of self-rebuilding. The activation of latent potential. This is the phase that delivers the purest, most objective form of regret. It is here that the emotional pain becomes a cold, hard fact. All the energy that was once tied up in the marriage is now redirected. Think of the hours spent on compromise, the effort given to emotional labor, managing feelings, anticipating needs, or the constant work of maintaining domestic stability. That energy supply is suddenly freed. She takes that massive surplus of time and focus and applies it with laser focus to singular achievements. The ambition you thought was gone suddenly ignites. She starts the business she always talked about. She finishes the degree she put on hold. She lands the high-level career move she never attempted before. You are witnessing the activation of latent potential. You see the capable, strong woman you always knew was inside her, but she is achieving it all in an environment entirely disconnected from you. This is the most painful truth you must face. Her dramatic success is often the direct consequence of your absence. This does not make you a villain. You are simply the environment of limitation. The marriage, even if it was stable and loving, required her to be a wife, which often meant prioritizing the collective over the self. When that demand is removed, her singular self can finally execute. The deep regret is the forced realization that her highest potential bloomed only after your shared world withered. You realize that the structure you built together was not a foundation for her total growth, but a beautiful, necessary constraint that she had to break free from to truly fly. The witness's cognitive regret. The emotion you feel at this stage is deeper than simple envy or jealousy. It is what we define as cognitive regret, a grief rooted in the mind, not just the heart. You are not mourning one loss, but two simultaneous losses. First, the obvious loss, the end of the relationship itself, the shared house, the daily connection. But the second loss is far more damaging to your ego. The loss of the potential you believed you would both share. You are seeing a superior, high-performing version of her, and you believed that version was supposed to be your reward, a part of your future. The pain comes from the realization that your entire system failed. You regret the inability of the marriage, your shared life, to nurture and release this level of energy and success in her. You watch her flourish and think, why wasn't she this focused, this happy, this successful when we were together? This feeling is a deep psychological wound because it violates a core human expectation, that our investment should yield a predictable return. Your time, your emotional identity as her husband, and your commitment did not yield the outcome you projected, a continuously growing partnership. Instead, the ultimate return on investment, her success, only appeared after you withdrew your capital, the marriage. This feels like a fundamental betrayal of shared reality. However, you must be stoic and objective. This intense feeling is nothing more than your ego reacting to disrupted internal projections. You built a mental model of the future that included her success alongside you. Her current separate success broke that model. You must internalize this truth. Her current success has nothing to do with your present worth. It is simply the delayed consequence of her own effort, now untethered. Stop looking at her success as a judgment on your past. See it only as proof that the structure of your former life was too small for the woman she was always meant to be. Your task is to shift your focus from judging the consequence of her freedom to establishing the foundation of your own. The psychological audit. You must accept this fundamental rule. The time you spend watching her is time stolen from yourself. Her transformation, her sudden energy and success is acting like a magnet, constantly pulling your focus away from the only thing that truly matters, your own necessary reconstruction. You must immediately reroute your focus. You cannot build your future while staring into her past. She had to literally break her life apart to find her freedom and potential. You didn't choose this destructive path. The fracture was given to you. You must now use this immense disruption as a rare opportunity for radical self-assessment. This is the moment to conduct a psychological audit. Start by looking inward, not outward. Identify all the structures you relied on that were defined entirely by your partnership. This includes your social identity, who you were as a couple, your weekend routines, what you did together, the emotional feedback loop, how you knew you were okay. These elements have crumbled. You must now find the core principles that define your intrinsic value, the things that make you valuable when you are completely alone. Ask yourself the hard questions. What purpose did you set aside while you were committed to the marriage? What major skill or ambition did you leave in the shadows? What kind of man did you always intend to become before the structure of husband took over? Your primary task now is not to catch up to her success. Her journey is irrelevant noise. Your only task is to build a foundation so solid that her existence, whether she is wildly successful or suddenly struggling, becomes completely irrelevant to your inner peace and stability. You are moving from being the man who simply reacted to a partnership to being the man who deliberately constructs his own life. This shift in control is where true power is found. Your recovery depends on this absolute commitment to self. The code of irrelevance. You must accept this as a cold, undeniable fact. She is simply following a script. Her dramatic actions, her sudden successes, and her public displays are not random. They are the predictable behavior of a person who has suddenly gained total autonomy. Your pain comes from viewing her through the lens of your past shared life. You must switch lenses now. You need to internalize the code of irrelevance. When an individual becomes newly autonomous, when they must prioritize their own forward trajectory for survival, the needs and feelings of the person they left behind are automatically downgraded. This means that your feelings, your pain, and your existence are, from a clinical survival standpoint, functionally irrelevant to her new path. She must focus entirely on her own stabilization. There is no space left for your emotional state. This knowledge is not meant to be cruel, it is actually liberating. When you understand that her behavior is mechanical, a predictable pattern of a self-reorganizing system, you strip it of all its emotional power. She is not attacking you, she is merely executing the code of the newly free. You must stop seeing her as your former wife and start viewing her as an objective data point in the study of human power dynamics. This detachment is your key to mental freedom. Once you remove the emotion, the power she holds over your mind disappears. The Sovereign Foundation. We have reached the end of the psychological audit. The ultimate, lasting power you can gain lies in total, undivided commitment to yourself. Your true freedom won't be found by rushing out immediately to seek approval or comfort from a new partner. That is a mistake. That's simply trading one external anchor, your old relationship, for a new one. Your essential task now is to build a sovereign foundation. This is a personal structure so robust and so strong that no criticism, no compliment, no external noise from anyone, especially not from her, can penetrate it or shake your inner peace. You must now accept the empty space that was left by the marriage. Don't look at that void as a weakness or a source of sadness. Instead, see it as a powerful resource. Take all that surplus energy you once dedicated to daily compromise and conflict, the effort of managing two lives, and use it entirely for yourself. Use every bit of that focus to construct a fortress of self-respect. This fortress is built using only simple materials: discipline, a clear purpose, and unwavering focus. The old title, the identity of the husband, is now completely dissolved. That role is finished. The new, lasting identity that must emerge is the man of purpose. That purpose is completely and uniquely yours. It cannot be negotiated away, and no person can ever take it from you. It becomes your fixed, stable point in a shifting world. Your regret finally ends when you stop using her life as a mirror reflecting your failure. When you look out and see her life, whether it is successful or struggling, it should simply appear as another ship on the far horizon, sailing a course that has absolutely no connection or bearing on your own journey. The truth is clear now. The veil is lifted. The only thing you can ever truly regret is the man you choose not to become now that you have been given this absolute freedom.